1 year ago, viewers of Welcome to Plathville watched one of the most controversial weddings in the family's history. Lydia Plath, the quiet and deeply faithful daughter, stood at the altar with Zac, a man she'd known for less than a year. Their choice to save their very first kiss for the wedding day shocked some fans, while others admired their conviction. And yet, in a whirlwind of doubt, family tension, and raised eyebrows, Lydia and Zac didn't just survive the storm. A year later, they're still standing strong. And Lydia says she has absolutely no regrets. I'm Sarah from Sister Wives Daily. Welcome. If you love diving deep into the real drama, the tender moments, and the family clashes behind the cameras, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my breakdowns. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Lydia and Zac made the right call getting married so quickly, or was the family right to push back? Today, we're going to dig into 3 of the biggest turning points that shaped this couple's story. First, the whirlwind timeline, from meeting to marriage in just 6 months, and why their wedding day became such a defining moment for the family. Then, the pushback, Ethan, Isaac, and other siblings who questioned not just Zac's intentions, but the couple's choices, with some of those confrontations caught on camera. Finally, the decisions Lydia and Zac made for themselves, the counseling, the commitment to wait for their first kiss, and the mindset that has kept them united through an incredibly tense first year. So buckle up, because this isn't just a love story. It's a story of conviction, family drama, and the kind of reality TV tension that makes you wonder where faith, loyalty, and independence truly meet. When Lydia and Zac's story first began on Welcome to Plathville, it unfolded at lightning speed. According to their anniversary interview with People, they marked a full year since meeting, and just 6 months since saying, "I do." People.com +1. That means in the span of half a year, they moved from strangers to fiancé, to husband and wife, a journey that raised eyebrows and questions across the Plath family and the viewing audience. The People article notes that Zac reflected on how suddenly everything happened. "I think the timeline worked for what we needed, but also, it was just as unexpected for us." People.com. They knew they connected deeply through shared faith, spontaneous hikes, long conversations, but even they admit the pace was intense. People.com. Let's rewind to the wedding itself, which was captured in beautiful detail on TLC and chronicled in exclusive coverage. Lydia and Zac tied the knot on February 22, 2025, at the Plath family's farm in Georgia. People.com. They invited about 115 guests and chose a blue-themed ceremony that reflected both sentimental roots and their shared vision for a marriage centered in faith. People.com. But the moment that caught everyone's attention was their first kiss, not months into the marriage, but right there at the altar. In multiple interviews and promos, they explained that saving their first kiss was a deliberate act, part of a deeper commitment. People.com +2. People.com +2. Zac even described it as hard, but worth it. People.com. Lydia and Zac both emphasized that by avoiding physical intimacy, they hope to build emotional trust first. People.com. That saved kiss decision wasn't just a romantic gesture. It became a statement about intention, discipline, and honoring their faith within the public eye. In the Season 7 premiere promos, Lydia and Zac openly explained how Zac first brought up the idea, and Lydia accepted it as a meaningful boundary. People.com. To understand just how meaningful their choices felt, you have to look at Lydia's upbringing. She's one of 9 children born to Kim and Barry Plath, and life in that house was never simple. In an interview, Lydia revealed that with 8 siblings in a small home, they often had to share one shower. On hot summer days when lines were long, some would just hop into the pool instead. Yahoo +1. That kind of closeness, crowding, and shared daily routines shaped her sense of privacy, patience, and longing for a relationship built on deeper connection, not rushed proximity. So from the start, Lydia's world was one where boundaries matter, space is scarce, and relationships are lived in public. Enter Zac, someone who, in a few short months, would become not only her husband, but also the person entrusted with honoring those boundaries, in front of cameras, family, and critics. Their whirlwind beginning set the stage for every tension, every critique, and every choice we'll examine next. Once Lydia and Zac announced their fast-track engagement and wedding plans, the tension with Lydia's brothers quickly erupted on screen. From season 7 onward, Ethan and Isaac became vocal critics of Zac and the timeline. In an exclusive with People, Lydia later explained that her brothers' reactions went beyond brotherly love. That initial judgment cut deeply, especially when Ethan questioned Zac's motives publicly. People.com own of the most jarring moments arrived during the proposal sequence. As shown on Welcome to Plathville, Ethan confronted Zac directly. According to People, Ethan even asked Zac if he was gay at the proposal, an accusation that stunned Zac. People.com +1. Zac later said he was taken off guard because he felt he had already shown through his actions plenty of action here that proves that I'm not. People.com +1 complaints about Zac moved past feelings of mistrust and became accusations about manipulation and haste. In an earlier People exclusive preview, Ethan admitted he worried Lydia was being manipulated by Zac, given how quickly things progressed, and he feared she'd ceded personal responsibility to divine direction. People.com. He openly told Lydia their thinking and values differ, and he couldn't fully support making a decision so monumental without adequate time. People.com. In the episodes leading into the wedding, viewers saw brothers storm out of rehearsal dinners, clashes over wedding logistics, and arguments behind closed doors. People reported that in the September 16th episode, Ethan walked out after accusing Zac and Lydia of moving too fast, then attempted in private to voice objections to the wedding. Isaac weighed in too, stating concerns that Zac would dominate conversations and drown out Lydia's voice. People.com. Even the wedding ceremony reflected their back-and-forth drama. Though family tension was high, Lydia and Zac made the bold decision not to include the classic, "Does anyone object?" moment during their vows. People noted that despite her brothers doubling down on objections, they left it out of the ceremony entirely. People.com. As all this unfolded, other family arcs provided context to the emotional climate. For instance, Ethan's personal life also made headlines. In a season preview, he was shown flirting while line dancing with a woman named Lily, asking for her number, marking one of the earliest glimpses into his attempts to move on. Yahoo +1. That moment underscored how Ethan was shifting focus to his own relationships, even as tensions with Lydia's marriage boiled. Tensions in the Plath household during this time weren't just about Zac. They were about control, trust, and boundaries. The pushback from Ethan and Isaac became a key axis of conflict, not only questioning the timeline, but challenging Lydia's autonomy and Zac's loyalty in front of cameras, in family meetings, and in public interviews. And as these episodes aired, they turned what could have been purely romantic drama into a showdown of family dynamics and personal vindication. A showdown Lydia and Zac had to confront head-on. Facing mounting criticism and familial pressure, Lydia and Zac made a conscious decision early on. They would not let external voices define their union. In their People anniversary interview, Zac confirmed they attended premarital counseling before marrying, even though they had only known each other for 6 months. People.com. That choice was no small thing. It shows they prioritized preparation over impulse. They also stood firm in their decision to save their first kiss for the wedding altar, something that raised eyebrows among critics. Lydia has called it one of their defining commitments. As Zac put it, that was awesome. It was hard, but it was worth it. People.com. Their decision wasn't rooted in performance or proving something to outsiders. It came from a desire to build a foundation rooted in emotional trust, not physical expectation. In that same interview, Lydia shared a guiding phrase that has carried them through the toughest moments. No matter what you're facing, you're a team, and you're being attacked from the outside. People.com. She says that even when there's tension between us, they must always hold the best for the other in mind. That line has become their anchor in a sea of external voices and internal friction. On screen and off, these choices reframed the narrative around their marriage. The show captured Lydia telling producers she wouldn't even watch her own wedding episode because she anticipated how some family members would twist moments of conflict for spectacle. People.com. Even though there was drama around the rehearsal dinner, siblings storming off and accusations leading up to the ceremony, Lydia and Zac refused to include the "does anyone object" moment in their vows, eliminating an opportunity for public objection. People. By doing this, they reclaimed control over their own story. The very criticisms meant to undermine them, about speed, sincerity, and motive, became proving grounds for their unity. With counseling, intention, and a team mindset, Lydia and Zac transformed scrutiny into something that could strengthen their bond rather than break them. Their responses show that amid public pressure, it wasn't about having no challenges, but about refusing to let those challenges pull them apart. Looking back at Lydia and Zac's first year, what stands out isn't just the wedding drama or the fast timeline. It's how much their story reflects a bigger pattern inside the Plath family. The push and pull between family control and personal autonomy. On camera, we've watched siblings clash with each other, question life choices, and at times even cut ties. For Lydia, stepping into marriage with Zac wasn't just about love, it was about saying, "This is my decision," even when her brothers disagreed. You can see the contrast when you line her journey up next to Olivia's. Olivia and Ethan's marriage was documented through years of conflict, counseling, and ultimately separation. In recent seasons, Olivia's choice to move forward with Brendan was shown as a fresh start, but also as a marker of how far she's stepped away from the Plath family's expectations. People.com. That arc highlights the same theme we see with Lydia, breaking away from what the family wants and learning how to build a life on your own terms, even when people you love push back. For me, as someone who's followed Welcome to Plathville from the very beginning, I'll be honest, Lydia's wedding episode was one of the hardest to watch. I remember feeling a lump in my throat when Ethan stormed off before the ceremony. I know what it's like when family doesn't approve of a choice you feel in your bones is right. It makes every step heavier. And that's why, when Lydia and Zac talk about being a team in the face of outside attacks, it hits me personally. In the end, their first year together reminds us that reality TV isn't just entertainment. It's a mirror of how complicated family, faith, and independence can really be. So, when we look back at Lydia and Zac's first year of marriage, it's clear that what could have torn them apart has actually been the glue that held them together. Their timeline may have shocked a lot of people, Meeting, getting engaged, and then walking down the aisle all within 6 months. But it wasn't careless. It was deliberate, it was disciplined, and it was deeply rooted in their faith and shared vision for the future. What stands out most isn't the controversy, but the resilience. Every challenge, whether it came from family skepticism or public judgment, became another reason for them to close ranks and remind themselves, we're a team. That's not to say it was easy. On Welcome to Plathville, we all saw the pushback from Ethan and Isaac. We saw the tension bubbling at the proposal and the wedding. And those moments were uncomfortable because they were real. But that's what makes their story compelling. It shows us that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about how you respond to it. For Lydia and Zac, responding with intentional choices like premarital counseling and saving their first kiss for the altar became powerful symbols of commitment. Those decisions didn't just silence the critics, they set the tone for their marriage. And I want to hear from you. Do you believe Lydia and Zac's choices made them stronger? Or do you think the family had valid reasons to push back? Who do you feel was speaking the real truth in those tense moments? Lydia and Zac, or the siblings who raised concerns? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I know this is a conversation that will spark different opinions. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Sister Wives Daily, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode analysis. We're going to keep pulling on these threads, because this season is full of shifts, surprises, and emotional twists that deserve to be talked about. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me today. I'm Sarah, and this has been Sister Wives Daily. I'll see you soon with more of the stories that matter to you, the viewers who know these families inside and out. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep the conversation going.